Hi, welcome back to Child Development Series. Today in Child Development Series, we are going to be looking at the theories of child psychology. Okay, so we all have heard about what theories are. Okay, basically theories are some basic ideas, okay, that help us to understand the system or the beliefs or the values of any matter. Like, for example, if it's human beings, then, we talk about the effects of their behavior and their attitude and their characteristics, their belief system, and basically as a whole, okay, has a whole development aspects. So we will look at what are certain theories of child psychology that actually has influenced the development and has led to the personality development of children in future. Okay, so let's have a look. So basically, what are these psychological theories? Any theories, for example, is a system of ideas that can explain certain aspects of human thoughts, behaviors, and emotions. Okay, so practically, if you see, it describes a behavior, right? So how a person behaves, or how a child behaves, or how a particular species behave, and so on. At the same time, any theory must be testable. That means it should have some sort of empirical findings or some sort of qualitative findings. So since in psychology, we need to, have a combination of both the quantitative as well as the qualitative aspects of these theories. And these theories help us to also make predictions about how a person can behave, okay, at a certain point of time in a certain context. So researchers create these theories to make predictions for future human behaviors or events that may take place if certain behaviors exist. So you can see that there is a correlation, or there is actually a pattern in terms of their behavior when certain events or when the person is put into different context, right? So this is what the psychological theories are going to talk about. What is child psychology? Of course, it is the science of study, of child's mind and how it functions. So basically, it's going to talk about how the child behaves, okay, how the child interacts, okay, with people around the child, and also the emotions that they deal with, all right, in order to cope in a certain situation. And when they do this, they are actually, bringing their interactions between the conscious and the subconscious elements in a child, right? So all of us have these three states of mind, which is the conscious, the unconscious, and the subconscious, right? So it is the same for children as well. So they come into more of the conscious and the subconscious elements, right? That is what we're going to deal or talk about in terms of getting to understand the child better. What is it? Is it important, or is it or is it a must to know about child psychology? Yes, definitely. As a psychologist or as a professional dealing with children, you can understand the children better. You will be able to explore, the changes or the growth patterns, or, if there are certain changes in the behavior patterns, okay, you can actually explore deeper into those aspects. And if, let's say, if you are dealing with children who are differently able, then you would be able to plan certain early intervention as a sort of a treatment that's underlying the psychological issues as well. For example, children with ADHD, children with, ADHD is like attention, hyperactive disorder. And then also in terms of, children who are autistic, whether it is high spectrum or low spectrum autism, they do definitely have certain, issues, other than their academic issues. Okay. So all these can be, very helpful if we try to understand the child from a different theoretical perspective, right? And also these things will help us as practitioners in the field to help us communicate effectively with all the stakeholders. So these stakeholders can be sometimes parents or caregivers, or sometimes even with the school personals, or sometimes even with pediatricians, okay, or probably school counselors, or probably mental health care providers. So there's a range of people with whom you can communicate effectively once you are in a position to understand what child psychology is all about. Okay, and also you would be able to customize certain therapeutic techniques to cope with mental health conditions as well. Okay, so there are various therapeutic techniques which a psychologist would be practicing. Some may be practicing very human-centered therapy, some but with children particularly, usually the therapies that are recommended are like play therapy, sand therapy, art therapy. So these are found to be more effective in terms of, and in terms of adolescents, the cognitive behavior therapy is found to be very successful and very effective. Yeah, so based on that you can plan what sort of a treatment would be offering a better support for the children to grow and learn better, right? So when we look at the child psychological theories, these are actually classified into two school of thoughts, we can say. One is the psychodynamic theories and the other one is the behavioral theories. Now in today's lecture we'll be focusing mostly on only the psychodynamic theories. Okay, so the psychodynamic theories, there are three. Of course, there are many people who have actually researched about, working with children, but the prominent people, or what you can say as the pioneers in terms of understanding or in terms of studying the development of various stages, okay, at various stages of children's growth and development would be Sigmund Freud and Erik Erikson. So Sigmund Freud's theory is, basically he studied the psychosexual stages of development, and Erik Erikson, he studied the psychosocial stages of development in children. So let's see what the psychodynamic theories say all about children.